The night was dark. Thick clouds covered the sky, and the wind howled like a wild animal. Somewhere in the distance, the sound of explosions shook the ground. Amid the chaos, a lone man lay on the cold, wet floor. His clothes were torn, and his body ached as if every bone had been broken. He tried to move, but pain shot through his chest. He closed his eyes, thinking this might be the end. For a long moment, all he could hear was his own breathing, heavy and uneven. The world felt silent after the chaos, but deep down, he knew the danger was not over. Something had crashed here, he didn't know what. He didn't know where he was. And worst of all, he didn't know if he would survive the night. He opened his eyes slowly. Darkness surrounded him, but it wasn't complete. A faint light shimmered in the distance. At first, he thought it was a reflection from the wreckage nearby, but then he noticed something strange. It was moving. Carefully, he squinted and tried to focus. A figure appeared. It was a woman, but not like any woman he had ever seen. Her skin was pale with a soft glow, almost as if she was lit from inside. Her eyes were large, filled with tears that caught the faint light. She was small and fragile, and yet there was something powerful about her presence. He wanted to speak, to ask her if she was hurt, but his voice failed. He tried again, whispering, "Are you okay?" The woman flinched, as if his words were loud. She looked at him, her eyes wide with fear and sorrow. Then, softly, she whispered something he could barely understand. "You have no idea what's coming." Chills ran down his spine. Her words were strange, but they carried a weight he couldn't explain. He wanted to ask more, but before he could, the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling, and he realized that whatever had happened to this place had not finished yet. The man struggled to sit up. His body screamed in protest, but he forced himself. He could not die here, not like this. Not while something or someone was still out there. Slowly, he crawled toward the faint light, keeping his eyes on the mysterious woman. She stayed where she was, watching him carefully. Every movement he made seemed to make her more tense. But when he reached her, she didn't run. Instead, she held out her hand. And it was a small device, glowing with soft blue light. He didn't know what it was, but instinct told him it was important. He took it, and the moment his fingers touched it, a strange warmth spread through his body. The pain in his chest eased, and he felt a surge of energy he hadn't known he had. He looked at her amazed. What is this?" he asked. She shook her head. "Not yet, you will know soon," she whispered. The man wanted to ask more questions, but before he could, a loud crash came from the shadows. Something heavy had moved. His heart raced. Whatever it was coming closer. He looked around. The place was ruined, walls cracked, smoke rising from piles of debris, but there was no clear exit. The woman seemed to sense his fear. She grabbed his hand and pulled him toward a narrow passage. "This way quickly," she urged. Her voice was soft but urgent. He followed, not knowing if he could trust her, but instinct told him to run. As they moved, the man noticed details he hadn't seen before. The walls of the place were not ordinary. Strange symbols were etched into the stone, glowing faintly. The air smelled of something unfamiliar, metallic, like electricity mixed with something alive. He realized with a shock that this place was not of Earth. Not entirely. "Where are we?" he asked, trying to catch his breath. The woman did not answer. Her eyes darted around nervously. Suddenly, she stopped and pressed him against the wall. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Tall, dark, and terrifying. Its eyes glowed red, and its movements were quick, almost too fast to follow. The man froze. He had no weapons, no chance. But the woman stepped forward, placing herself between him and the creature. She raised her hand, and a wave of energy shot from her palm. The creature recoiled, letting out a low growl. The man's mouth fell open. "What are you?" he whispered. She did not answer. Her face was serious, focused on keeping them both safe. He realized then that she was not just fragile, she was dangerous. And somehow, she had chosen to help him. The creature lunged again, and the woman moved with speed he could barely follow. She struck it with another wave of energy, and it fell back, snarling.
She turned to him. "Follow me," she said.
They ran through winding corridors, shadows chasing them, lights flickering overhead. Every corner they turned seemed to bring more danger, more unknown threats. The man's heart pounded in his chest. He had never felt fear like this. And yet, he also felt something else. A strange connection to this mysterious woman, as if they were linked by fate. Finally, they reached a chamber, dimly lit, with walls covered in strange alien markings. The woman collapsed to her knees, exhausted. The man helped her, noticing for the first time how delicate she really was. Her face was pale, streaked with tears, but there was determination in her eyes. "We have to move," she said after a moment. "They will not stop. You must be ready." "Ready for what?" he asked, confused and terrified. She looked at him, her eyes shining with an emotion he couldn't name. "To survive and to change everything," she whispered. The man's mind raced. He didn't understand what she meant, but he knew one thing: his life had changed in an instant. One moment he thought it was over. The next, he was caught in a world of danger, mystery, and something beyond his imagination. Outside, the wind howled. Somewhere, distant alarms rang out. The man realized that whatever had happened here was only the beginning. And as he looked at the alien woman in tears, he knew he could not turn back. Something inside him stirred, a courage he didn't know he had. He clenched his fists, stood tall, and nodded to her. "Okay, let's do this," he said. Her lips curved into the faintest smile, but her eyes were serious. "You have no idea what you're about to face," she said softly. And in that moment, the man understood that his life would never be the same. The world he had known was gone, replaced by something terrifying, beautiful, and unknown. He was no longer alone, and he would need every ounce of courage he had to survive the night. As they moved deeper into the ruins, shadows stretched long, strange sounds echoed from every corner, and the air crackled with energy. Every step felt like a step into another world. The man did not know if he would survive, but one thing was certain: this night had changed everything. And somewhere in the distance, a faint, haunting cry echoed, a warning, or perhaps a challenge. The man tightened his grip on the glowing device. He glanced at the alien woman. Her eyes met his, full of fear, sorrow, and determination. "Let's go," she said. And together, they disappeared into the darkness, stepping into a story that was only just beginning. The ruins stretched endlessly before them. Broken walls, shattered metal, and twisted debris littered the ground. The man's legs ached, but he did not stop. He had no choice. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound a threat. Yet, he kept looking at the alien woman beside him. She moved with grace despite her small frame, her glowing skin casting soft light on the cracked floors. "You can move fast," he said, trying to catch his breath. She shook her head slightly, her hair falling into her glowing eyes. "I have to," she whispered. "They are close, always close." He didn't ask who they were. Somehow, he knew asking now would be dangerous. His mind was still trying to understand everything: this glowing woman, the strange device in his hand, the alien markings on the walls. Nothing made sense, yet everything felt real. The woman stopped suddenly. She pointed to a doorway partially hidden behind rubble. Inside, the room was dimly lit, filled with strange equipment. Screens flickered with images he didn't recognize: maps of stars, diagrams of strange symbols, and devices that hummed with energy. This is alien technology," he whispered. His voice shook. She nodded. "It is my people's." Her voice was soft but heavy with sadness. "I was sent to learn, to observe, but my ship was destroyed. I am alone." The man glanced at her. He could see tears in her glowing eyes, but there was also determination. She had survived this long, alone, against dangers he could barely imagine. Suddenly, his fear mixed with respect. I'm sorry," he said. I don't know how I can help. I'm just human. She looked at him, and for the first time, she smiled faintly. You are alive. That is enough for now. But you must trust me completely. No hesitation. No doubt. He swallowed hard. He wanted to ask more questions, who she was, what she was, where they were, but something in her eyes told him it was dangerous. He nodded slowly. I trust you. Her smile widened slightly. Good. She reached out and placed a hand on the glowing device in his palm. The soft light pulsed, brighter than before. This will help you survive. It is more than a tool. It will protect you if danger comes. He examined it closely. It looked like a small, smooth stone, but he could feel energy flowing through it. When he held it, the aches in his body seemed to fade, and his thoughts became sharper. Somehow, he felt stronger. Strange, it feels like it's alive, he whispered.
It is, she said.
It is a part of my people. A guide, a protector. Before he could ask more, a sudden sound made them freeze. A low, growling hum came from the walls around them. Dust fell from the ceiling, and faint red lights blinked on panels along the corridors. The alien woman's eyes widened. They are here, she whispered urgently. We must move, now. He followed her through another passage, twisting and turning through the ruins. The hum grew louder, and strange shapes flickered in the corners of his vision. He could barely see, but every instinct told him to keep moving. After a few minutes, they reached a small chamber with a high ceiling. The walls glowed faintly with blue and purple light, giving the place an eerie, otherworldly feel. The alien woman pressed herself against the wall, listening intently. They cannot follow us here, she said after a moment. This place is protected. He looked around. The room seemed ordinary at first, but then he noticed strange lines etched into the walls. The symbols glowed faintly, like a map. What is this? He asked, pointing at the markings. She stepped closer and traced a line with her fingers. It is a map of safe zones, places my people created. If we can reach them, we can hide and gather strength, but the path is dangerous. They're searching everywhere. The man felt a shiver run down his spine. Who are they? Her face darkened, her glowing eyes dimming slightly. Hunters. Warriors of destruction. My people called them the Shadow Legion. They hunt anyone who survives. They destroyed my ship, and they will not stop until they find us both. The man's heart pounded. He looked at her, realizing how small and alone she really was, yet how brave. He wanted to comfort her, but he knew there was no time. I will help you, he said, gripping the glowing device tighter. Tell me what to do. Her gaze softened. First, you must learn to understand it. The device will react to your fears, your doubts, your choices. If you hesitate, it will not work. You must trust yourself as much as you trust me. He nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the corridors outside. Dust fell, and the floor trembled. They are coming, she said, her voice steady but urgent. We must leave now. They ran through a narrow passage, moving faster than he thought possible. The alien woman led him confidently, her small form weaving through debris, as if she knew every corner. Yet every step was tense. Every sound could be the Shadow Legion, and every shadow could hide death. After what felt like hours, they reached a high chamber with a strange, glowing portal at the far end. The woman stopped. This is the first safe zone. Once we pass through, we will be hidden, but only for a short time. We must move quickly. The man looked at the portal. It shimmered like liquid light, twisting and bending as if alive. Are you sure it's safe? He asked. She placed her hand on his shoulder. It is safer than staying here. Trust me. He took a deep breath, gripping the device in his hand. Together, they stepped through the portal. The world around them changed instantly. They were no longer in the ruins. Instead, they stood in a strange forest, filled with glowing plants and alien creatures moving silently in the shadows. The air smelled sweet and strange, almost electric. The man looked around, amazed. This is incredible, he whispered. The alien woman nodded. This is the hidden world, a place my people created for survival. Few humans have ever seen it. Few aliens, too. We must be careful. Suddenly, a rustling came from the trees. Strange shapes moved just beyond the glow of the plants. The man's heart raced. Are they following us? She held up a hand, and the device in his palm pulsed with a bright light.
No, not yet.
But we must be alert. They will not give up easily. As they moved deeper into the forest, the man noticed strange animals with translucent skin, glowing eyes, and long, delicate limbs. Everything here seemed alive, almost conscious. The alien woman led him carefully, pointing out paths that were safe and avoiding areas that seemed unstable. Finally, they reached a small clearing with a pool of glowing water in the center. The woman knelt beside it and touched the surface. The water rippled and showed images, strange, moving visions of ships, stars, and places he had never seen. This is amazing, he said. What is it? It is a vision pool, she explained. It shows the past, the present, and sometimes the future. We can see dangers coming, paths we must take, or places to hide. But it is not perfect. The future is always changing. He looked into the pool, mesmerized. For the first time, he felt hope. Maybe they could survive. Maybe they could fight back. The woman looked at him, her glowing eyes full of emotion. You have survived this long because you are brave. But courage alone is not enough. You must learn to trust your instincts and this device. Only then can we stand a chance. The man nodded, feeling a strange connection to her. He didn't fully understand who she was or what she wanted, but he knew he could not abandon her. Together, they would face whatever was coming. From somewhere deep in the forest, a low, ominous sound echoed. The Shadow Legion was still out there, searching. But for now, they were safe. Just for a moment. The man clenched his fists, holding the glowing device. He looked at the alien woman. Her tears had dried, and her expression was determined. "We're alive," he whispered. "Yes," she said softly. "But survival is only the beginning. The real journey starts now." And with that, they vanished into the glowing forest, ready to face dangers no human had ever imagined, and ready to uncover secrets that could change everything. The glowing forest stretched endlessly, its trees tall and strange, their leaves shimmering like liquid silver. Every step the man took made a soft hum underfoot, like the ground itself was alive. The air was thick, warm, and strangely sweet. Despite its beauty, the man felt uneasy. He knew the danger had not disappeared, it was only hidden. The alien woman led the way with confidence, her eyes glowing faintly. She seemed at home here, as if the forest itself responded to her presence. Every so often, she glanced at him, silently reminding him to stay close. Why are you here?" he finally asked, his voice trembling. "What is your mission? Why did your ship crash?" Her glowing eyes darkened, and she looked away. For a long moment, she said nothing. Finally, she spoke, her voice soft and sad. "I was sent to learn to study other worlds. My people are explorers, observers. But we do not interfere unless forced." She paused, staring into the glowing forest. "My ship was attacked, destroyed by the Shadow Legion. I was the only one who escaped." The man swallowed hard. Your people? How many? Did anyone else survive?" She shook her head slowly. "No one. Everyone I knew is gone. I am alone." He felt a pang of sympathy. She seemed fragile, yet her glowing presence radiated strength. He wanted to comfort her, but he realized words were not enough. "Then, why trust me?" he asked. "I am human. I can't fight them." Her gaze met his. Her glowing eyes held an intensity that made him pause. "Because you survived," she said simply. "And because you can make choices they cannot predict. Humans, you are unpredictable. That is why I need you." The man nodded slowly. He did not fully understand, but he felt a strange connection to her. Somehow, fate had brought them together, and he could not turn away. They continued through the forest. Strange creatures moved silently between the trees, their eyes glowing faintly in the shadows. Some watched them closely, curious but cautious. The man could feel the tension in the air. Every step they took seemed to echo in the silence. After a while, they reached a clearing where the ground sloped downward into a shallow valley. In the center was a large stone platform covered with glowing symbols. The alien woman knelt and touched the surface. The symbols responded, glowing brighter and casting dancing lights across the valley. "This is a memory stone," she explained. "It records events, history, sometimes even emotions. I can show you things you need to know if you are ready." The man hesitated. He did not know what he would see, but curiosity and necessity pushed him forward. "Show me," he said quietly. She placed her hands on the stone, and the glowing symbols began to swirl. Images formed in the air, projecting scenes from far away and long ago. The man gasped. He saw alien ships soaring through the sky, vast cities with glowing towers, and beings he could not name. Then the scene shifted. He saw the alien woman, smaller and younger, aboard her ship, smiling with her companions. They were my family," she whispered, tears forming in her glowing eyes. "We were explorers, dreamers, never warriors. But the Shadow Legion, they hunted us. They wanted to erase everything we knew, everything we loved." The man watched, captivated. He had never seen such a world. He could feel her pain, her loss, and her courage. He realized that the glowing device in his hand was more than a tool. It was a key, a connection to her people, and perhaps to his own survival. Suddenly, the images shifted again. He saw the moment her ship had crashed on Earth. Flames, explosions, and twisted metal filled the vision. He saw her running through the wreckage, terrified but determined. Then, the Shadow Legion appeared, tall, armored beings moving with deadly precision. They hunted her relentlessly, their red eyes glowing in the darkness. The man's heart raced. They're still out there?" he asked, voice barely above a whisper. She nodded. "Yes. They will not stop until we are gone or destroyed." She looked at him, her glowing eyes intense. "And now, you are part of this. You cannot turn back." He swallowed hard. The weight of responsibility pressed on him, but he felt a strange resolve building inside. He had survived so far, and he would not let fear control him. The alien woman studied him for a moment. "You must learn to use the device fully. It is not just protection, it can guide us, reveal paths, and even alert us to danger. But it will only respond to you if you are focused, brave, and honest." He nodded, gripping the device tightly. "Teach me," he said. She guided him to a smaller stone nearby. It was smooth and warm to the touch. She placed his hands over it. "Close your eyes. Listen. Feel. The device will connect to your mind, your instincts, your heart." He did as she instructed, closing his eyes. At first, nothing happened. Then, a faint glow appeared beneath his hands, pulsing with energy. He felt a warmth spread through his chest, a sense of clarity and awareness he had never experienced. He could feel the forest around him, the trees, the creatures, even the hidden currents of energy in the ground. "Good," she said softly. "You are beginning to understand. But there is more, and it will not be easy." Suddenly, the ground trembled. The man opened his eyes to see dark shapes moving in the forest. The Shadow Legion had found them. Their red eyes glowed, and their heavy footsteps shook the ground. The alien woman's expression hardened. "They are faster than I anticipated. We must move now." They ran, the man using the device to guide their path. It pulsed whenever danger was near, alerting him to hidden traps and unstable ground. The forest seemed to respond to the device, opening paths and revealing safe routes. As they ran, the man glanced at the alien woman. She was fast, precise, and graceful, yet he could see exhaustion in her movements. He realized that despite her power, she was vulnerable. And for the first time, he felt a fierce protectiveness toward her. Suddenly, a massive branch fell in their path, blocking the way. The man instinctively lifted the device, and a wave of energy shot out, breaking the branch into pieces. He stared at the device in awe. "You did that?" the alien woman asked, surprised. He nodded, breathless. I think so." She smiled faintly. "Yes, you are learning. But be careful. The Shadow Legion will adapt. They are clever and ruthless." The man swallowed hard, feeling both fear and excitement. He had survived so far, but he knew the real test was just beginning. They continued through the forest, using the device to guide them. Strange creatures watched silently, curious but cautious. Every step was tense, every sound a potential threat. Yet, with the alien woman by his side, he felt a strange sense of purpose. Finally, they reached a cliff overlooking a vast alien city, glowing in the distance. Towers rose high into the sky, connected by bridges of light. The man's mouth fell open. "This is where we are headed," he whispered. She nodded.
Yes.
"This is a sanctuary, a place of knowledge and safety. But it is not without danger. The Shadow Legion can reach here if we are not careful." He clenched his fists, determination settling in his chest. "Then we will fight and survive." The alien woman looked at him, her glowing eyes softening. "You have come far faster than I expected. But remember, courage alone is not enough. Trust, skill, and knowledge will keep you alive. And soon you will need all three." The man nodded. For the first time, he felt ready. The journey was far from over, but he was no longer just a survivor. He was a partner, a fighter, and perhaps something more. The wind blew through the alien forest, carrying with it the faint hum of distant energy and the whispers of unknown creatures. Somewhere, hidden in the shadows, the Shadow Legion watched, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But for now, the man and the alien woman stood together, ready to face whatever came next. Their bond was growing, their trust solidifying, and their courage strengthening. The real journey had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. And deep in the glowing forest, a faint, haunting voice seemed to whisper, carrying a promise and a warning. The truth is coming, and it will change everything. The forest no longer felt safe. Shadows stretched unnaturally across the glowing ground, twisting with every gust of wind. Strange creatures that had once watched curiously now hid silently, as if sensing the danger lurking nearby. The man ran alongside the alien woman, his heart pounding in his chest. Every breath was ragged. Every step felt like a test. "They are faster than before," the woman said, her glowing eyes scanning the shadows. "The Shadow Legion is learning, adapting." He swallowed hard. "I thought we lost them, but they are still following?" "Yes," she said grimly. "They never stop. They hunt with patience, with precision. One mistake, and we die." A sudden rumble shook the ground. The man stumbled, but quickly regained his footing. The alien woman's gaze locked on something ahead.
"Quick."
"This way," she urged, darting toward a narrow canyon partially hidden by thick vines. He followed her without hesitation. The Shadow Legion had appeared. Tall, dark figures emerged from the forest, their glowing red eyes fixed on them. Their armor gleamed under the faint light, and their movements were unnaturally fast, almost fluid. The man froze for a moment, fear paralyzing him. But the alien woman grabbed his hand, her grip firm. "Move."
"Now."
They ran. The man felt the ground pulse beneath his feet, as if the forest itself was alive, guiding him. The glowing device in his hand thrummed with energy, and he instinctively held it out in front of him. Light shot from it, illuminating the narrow path and revealing hidden routes and obstacles. One of the Shadow Legion soldiers lunged at him from behind a tree. The man raised the device instinctively, and a wave of energy knocked the figure backward, sending it crashing into the underbrush. His heart raced, and he could hear the alien woman's soft gasp of surprise. "You did that," she said, her voice a mix of awe and urgency. "Focus. Use it carefully, but do not hesitate." He nodded, struggling to keep his breath steady. The forest seemed to close in around them as they navigated twisted paths, jagged rocks, and glowing streams of liquid energy. Every corner held new threats, falling debris, narrow ledges, and the ever-present Shadow Legion soldiers pursuing them relentlessly. Suddenly, the ground beneath the man cracked. A hidden crevice opened, and he felt himself slipping. Without thinking, the alien woman grabbed his arm and yanked him back just in time. They fell to the ground, panting, but alive. "You must trust yourself," she said firmly. "The device will guide you, but only if your mind is clear. Fear, hesitation, doubt, these will betray you." He took a deep breath, gripping the device tightly. He could feel the energy flowing through him, connecting to the forest, to the alien woman, and to his own instincts. For the first time, he felt a strange confidence rising within him. As they continued, the path narrowed into a rocky gorge. The alien woman leapt gracefully from ledge to ledge, and he followed, using the device to sense the safest route. The Shadow Legion soldiers were close now, their glowing red eyes cutting through the dim light like knives. A soldier appeared directly in their path, blocking the way. Its heavy armor gleamed, and it raised a weapon that hummed with energy. The man's heart pounded. There was no way around it. "Trust the device," the alien woman shouted. He raised it, and a brilliant wave of blue light shot forward. The soldier was thrown back, hitting the rock wall with a heavy crash. The man's hand shook, but he knew he could do this. He had to. "Move," the alien woman urged, grabbing his hand. They sprinted down the gorge, the ground shaking with every step the Shadow Legion took behind them. Suddenly, the canyon split into two paths. One path was wide but littered with jagged rocks and debris. The other was narrow, almost invisible, with a faint glowing line running along the edge. "Which way?" the man asked, panting. "Trust the device," she said. "It will guide you, but you must believe." He held the device out, and the energy pulsed stronger toward the narrow path. Without hesitation, they darted toward it. The rocks were sharp, the edges dangerous, but the device's energy seemed to guide their every step. Behind them, the Shadow Legion pursued relentlessly, but they hesitated at the narrow path, unwilling to follow into the unstable gorge. The man's heart pounded in relief. They had bought themselves some time, but not much. They ran until they reached a plateau overlooking a glowing alien lake. The water shimmered with strange colors, reflecting the sky in a surreal glow. The alien woman paused, her glowing eyes scanning the horizon. "This is a temporary refuge," she said. "We can rest briefly, but we must move again soon. They will not give up." He nodded, lowering the device slightly. "I can't believe we survived again." She glanced at him, a faint smile on her lips. "You are learning faster than I expected, but this is only the beginning. The real challenge is coming." He frowned. "Challenge? What do you mean?" Her expression turned serious. "The Shadow Legion is not just hunting us. They're seeking something you may already hold. The device, it is tied to a power they fear. And they will stop at nothing to claim it." The man's mind raced. "I don't understand. Why me? I'm just human." "Because humans are unpredictable," she said softly. "You think, you hesitate, you adapt. The device responds to that, and they cannot control it. That is why you are important, and why you are in danger." A sudden noise interrupted them, a low, guttural growl from across the plateau. A massive shadow moved in the distance, taller than any soldier they had seen. Its glowing red eyes scanned the area, searching. "They are not alone," the alien woman whispered, her voice tight with tension. "Something bigger is coming." The man's heart raced. He had survived ambushes, traps, and close encounters, but this felt different. He could sense the magnitude of the threat. "Prepare yourself," she said. "We must move again, quickly." Together, they sprinted toward the edge of the plateau. The glowing device pulsed in his hand, guiding them to a hidden path behind a cluster of crystalline rocks. The massive shadow moved closer, shaking the ground with every step. The man could hear the alien woman's steady breathing beside him. Despite the fear, he felt a strange reassurance. She was calm, focused, and determined. He realized then that their survival depended not just on skill, but on trust, trust in each other, and trust in the device. As they ran through the hidden path, the man glanced back. The massive Shadow Legion beast was gaining ground, its glowing eyes fixed on them. His pulse quickened, but he forced himself to stay calm. The device pulsed brighter, and he felt the energy guiding him toward a narrow cave entrance. They reached it just as the beast lunged. The alien woman shoved him inside, and they tumbled into darkness. The beast's roar echoed behind them, shaking the walls of the cave. Breathing heavily, they pressed themselves against the rough stone wall. The alien woman's glowing eyes dimmed slightly, her expression tense. "They almost caught us," she whispered. "And next time, they may not hesitate." The man nodded, gripping the device. "I won't let that happen. I'll learn. I'll fight. I'll survive." She looked at him, a faint glimmer of hope in her eyes. "Good. You must, because the path ahead will be even harder. The Shadow Legion will not rest. And neither can we." The cave was dark and silent, but the air was filled with tension. Outside, the glowing forest seemed peaceful, almost mocking. But the man knew the danger was never far behind. For the first time, he understood the reality of their situation. They were hunted. They were outnumbered. They were alone. And yet, together, they had survived. The alien woman touched his shoulder lightly. "Rest for a moment. But remember, every second counts. They will follow, and soon, we must run again." He nodded, feeling both exhaustion and determination. This chase was far from over. The Shadow Legion was relentless, and their strength would be tested again and again. And in the silence of the cave, the glowing device pulsed softly, as if reminding him of the power he now held and the responsibility that came with it. The chase was not over. It had only begun. The cave was dark, but the faint glow of the alien woman's skin lit the rough walls. The man pressed his back against the cold stone, trying to catch his breath. His heart was still racing from the chase through the forest. Outside, he could hear faint rustles and distant growls, reminders that the Shadow Legion had not given up. "We need to move," the woman whispered. Her glowing eyes scanned the darkness, alert and cautious. "The cave may hide us for a short while, but it is not safe. They will search everywhere." He nodded, gripping the glowing device. Its pulsing light felt warm in his hand, a strange comfort in the midst of chaos. "I'm ready," he said. "Lead the way." For a while, they moved in silence. The cave twisted and turned, leading them deeper underground. Stalactites hung like jagged teeth from above, and faint streams of water trickled down the walls. The air was damp, cool, and smelled faintly of minerals. The man tried to focus on the path, but his mind kept drifting back to the alien woman. He wanted to ask her more about her people, about the Shadow Legion, about the world she had come from. But each time he tried, she gave only a faint, sad smile and shook her head. "Not now," she said softly. "We survive first, answers later." Suddenly, the cave opened into a larger chamber. Bioluminescent plants glowed softly along the walls, casting eerie shadows. In the center, a small pool of water reflected the light like liquid silver. The alien woman knelt by the water, touching its surface. "This pool, it can show the truth," she said. "It reveals intentions, reveals lies, sometimes even betrayal. We may need it soon." He watched her carefully. "Betrayal?" he asked. "You don't mean someone else is here?" Her eyes met his. "Not yet. But trust is fragile. In a world like this, even allies may turn. We cannot know who will protect us and who will harm us until the moment comes." The man felt a chill. He had survived the Shadow Legion and the chase through the forest, but the idea that someone could betray them, it felt worse than any enemy. Before he could think further, a sound echoed through the cave entrance. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. Not the Shadow Legion. They moved differently. He tensed. The alien woman's eyes narrowed. "Show yourself," she called softly. A figure emerged from the shadows, a tall humanoid, cloaked in dark robes, face hidden. The man instinctively stepped behind the alien woman, the glowing device pulsing in his hand. "Who are you?" she demanded. The figure raised their hands, palms open. "Peace," the voice said. It was calm, almost soothing. "I am a friend. I mean no harm." The man's heart raced. Could they trust this stranger? Every instinct screamed danger, yet there was a sense of calm in the voice. The alien woman's eyes flicked to him. "We must be careful," she said quietly. "We cannot afford mistakes." The stranger took a step forward. "I know what you seek. I can guide you to safety." The man felt a flicker of hope. After everything, the crash, the forest, the relentless shadow legion, maybe someone could help them. He looked at the alien woman, waiting for her judgment. She studied the stranger carefully, her glowing eyes sharp. After a long moment, she nodded slightly. "Very well, but one wrong move, and you will regret it." The stranger smiled faintly. "I understand." For the next hour, they moved together. The stranger seemed to know hidden paths, secret tunnels, and safe zones. The man felt a strange relief, as if a weight had lifted. Maybe this journey would not be impossible after all. But as they approached a narrow canyon, the man noticed something odd. The stranger kept glancing back, more often than necessary. His instinct screamed that something was wrong, but he could not prove it. The alien woman sensed it too. Her glow dimmed slightly, her expression tense. "Trust your instincts," she whispered to him. "The device can feel deception. Pay attention." The man held the device tightly. It pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat, alerting him to something hidden. His eyes flicked to the stranger, and caught it. A subtle movement, almost invisible. A weapon hidden beneath the cloak. "Stop," the alien woman commanded, stepping between the man and the stranger. Her eyes glowed brightly, casting blue light across the canyon walls. The stranger froze, then slowly raised their hands. "I meant no harm," they said, their voice strained. "You lie," the alien woman said firmly. "The device confirms it. You are not here to guide. You are here to capture." The man's heart raced. Betrayal. Just when they thought they had found an ally, it was a trap. The stranger lunged suddenly, pulling a blade that shimmered with dark energy. The alien woman reacted instantly, sending a wave of blue energy that slammed the stranger back into the wall. The man raised the glowing device instinctively. A burst of light shot from it, forcing the stranger to stagger. The air hummed with tension, charged with energy from the device and the alien woman's power. "You cannot hide your intentions," she said, her voice cold and steady. "Now leave, or face destruction." The stranger hesitated, then vanished into a hidden tunnel, leaving only echoes behind. The man sank to the ground, breathless. His hands shook. He had survived the Shadow Legion, the chase, and now betrayal. But the weight of it hit him harder than any enemy attack. "Are you okay?" the alien woman asked, kneeling beside him. Her hand hovered over his shoulder, a comforting glow washing over him. He nodded slowly. I think so. But I didn't see it coming. I trusted them." She shook her head slightly. "Trust is dangerous in this world, but necessary. We cannot live without it. The key is knowing when to trust and when to act." He took a deep breath, gripping the device. The energy within it pulsed steadily, a reminder that they still had power to survive, and to fight back. "We have to keep moving," she said. "The Shadow Legion is not far behind. And that stranger, they may return with more." The man nodded. Every muscle in his body screamed exhaustion, but he forced himself to stand. He could not allow fear or betrayal to paralyze him. Survival demanded action. They moved through the canyon, the glowing device guiding them over jagged rocks and unstable ground. The forest outside shimmered faintly in the distance, a reminder of the world they had escaped and the dangers that still lurked. As they reached a hidden ledge overlooking a glowing city far below, the alien woman paused. "This is our next destination," she said. "A sanctuary, a place where knowledge and safety exist. But even there, we are not completely safe. We must remain vigilant." The man gazed at the city, its towers rising like needles of light into the sky. For the first time, he felt a spark of hope. Maybe they could survive. Maybe they could fight back. But as he looked at the alien woman, he saw the weight of responsibility in her eyes. She had endured loss, betrayal, and danger far beyond what he could imagine. And yet, she continued forward, determined to survive and to protect him. He clenched his fists, feeling a fierce resolve rising within him. "I won't let anything happen to you," he said softly. She looked at him, her glowing eyes softening for the first time in hours. "And I will not let anything happen to you. Together, we may survive. Together, we may even succeed." A low rumble echoed in the distance. The Shadow Legion was closing in, and somewhere, the betrayed stranger may return. Danger was all around them, but for the first time, the man felt a spark of determination he had never known. Trust had been broken, but bonds had also been formed. Survival depended not just on skill, but on understanding, courage, and faith in each other and in themselves. And with that, they stepped from the ledge, moving toward the glowing city, ready to face whatever came next, and knowing that betrayal, danger, and trials awaited them at every turn. The glowing city stretched before them like a dream. Towers of light rose high into the alien sky, connected by bridges that shimmered like glass. Below, strange vehicles moved silently along glowing streets, and the faint hum of energy filled the air. For a moment, the man felt awe, but it was fleeting. Danger was never far behind. The alien woman scanned the city from their hiding ledge. "This is where we can regroup," she said. "But we cannot enter openly. The Shadow Legion and that stranger, they will be watching." He looked at her, heart pounding. "Then, what's the plan?" Her glowing eyes narrowed. "We use shadows. We use deception. There is a hidden path through the lower levels of the city. Tunnels, maintenance shafts, old energy conduits. They are dangerous, unstable, but if we navigate carefully, we may reach safety." The man swallowed hard. "And if we fail?" She didn't answer immediately. Her gaze lingered on the glowing towers. "Then we fight and pray we survive." They moved quickly, slipping from the ledge into the shadows. The alien woman led the way, her small form weaving between the structures with incredible speed. The man followed closely, the glowing device in his hand pulsing with energy, lighting their path just enough to see hidden obstacles. The lower levels of the city were a maze. Rusted platforms, broken machinery, and glowing energy conduits created a confusing labyrinth. Every corner seemed to hold a trap, either natural hazards or Shadow Legion patrols. "This way," she whispered, darting toward a narrow corridor. The man followed, feeling the pulse of the device guide his every step. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the lower city. Red lights flashed along the walls, and the hum of energy intensified. The Shadow Legion had detected them. "They know we are here," the alien woman said, her voice calm but urgent. "We must move faster." They sprinted down twisting corridors, leaping over broken machinery and dodging sparks from exposed energy conduits. The man's chest burned with exertion, but he focused on the glowing device, letting it guide him through the chaos. Ahead, a massive chasm opened, a gap in the floor too wide to jump. The alien woman stopped at the edge, her glowing eyes scanning the opposite side. "We must cross, but the path is unstable. One wrong step, and we fall into the energy core below." The man swallowed hard. "Then how?" She smiled faintly. "Trust me and trust the device." She placed her hand on his, sending a surge of energy through him. The device pulsed violently, illuminating a hidden energy bridge, faint but stable. "This is incredible," he whispered. "Move," she urged. They stepped onto the faint bridge, each footfall causing sparks and faint tremors. Behind them, the sound of Shadow Legion soldiers grew louder, their heavy boots pounding the metallic floor. One soldier appeared at the edge of the bridge, blocking their path. Its glowing red eyes pierced the darkness, and it raised a weapon that hummed with deadly energy. The alien woman moved first. Her glowing hands released a burst of energy, hitting the soldier with incredible force. The man followed instinctively, raising the device. A wave of blue light shot forward, striking the soldier and sending it tumbling off the bridge into the energy core below. They did not stop. The bridge wobbled and creaked under their weight, but the device pulsed steadily, guiding them to the other side. Every step was tense. Every moment could be their last. Finally, they reached a narrow maintenance corridor. The alien woman leaned against the wall, catching her breath. "We are not safe yet," she said softly, "but we have a chance." A small window before they regroup. The man nodded, chest heaving. I understand. We keep moving." They continued through the maze-like tunnels. The glow from the device illuminated strange symbols on the walls, remnants of the alien woman's people, messages of warning and guidance. She traced her fingers over the markings, muttering softly. Suddenly, the corridor opened into a massive chamber filled with energy conduits. The room pulsed with a dangerous hum, and the floor was covered in thin, glowing cables. One wrong step could trigger an overload, sending energy surging in all directions. "This is risky," the man whispered. "Yes," she said, "but it is the only way." She stepped carefully onto the cables, balancing perfectly as if the energy itself guided her movements. The man followed, gripping the device tightly. Its pulse grew stronger, almost like it was communicating with him, guiding his every step. Halfway across, the Shadow Legion appeared. Soldiers dropped from overhead platforms, surrounding them. The man's heart pounded. He had faced them before, but never so close, never so many. "Stay calm," the alien woman said. Her hands glowed brighter, and energy arcs leapt from her palms, striking soldiers and sending them flying backward. The man raised the device instinctively. Waves of blue light shot forward, knocking soldiers off balance and clearing a path. The chamber trembled with energy, sparks flying in every direction. Suddenly, one soldier managed to reach him, striking with a weapon charged with red energy. The man dodged instinctively, raising the device just in time. A blast of light knocked the soldier back, sending it crashing into the glowing conduits. Sparks erupted, but the device absorbed the energy, protecting him from harm. The alien woman moved like a shadow beside him, precise and deadly. Together, they fought, dodged, and pushed forward. Every move required concentration, trust, and instinct. Every misstep could be fatal. Finally, they reached the edge of the chamber, a narrow hatch leading to the surface. The alien woman pressed her hand against the panel, and it slid open with a soft hiss. Light flooded the corridor, revealing the night sky above the city. They climbed quickly, emerging onto a high platform overlooking the city. The glowing towers stretched before them, and for the first time in hours, they had a moment of clarity. They were alive. They had escaped for now. The alien woman looked at him, her glowing eyes softening. "You have done well," she said. "But remember, this escape was only possible because we trusted each other. Trust and courage are the keys to survival." The man nodded, still breathing heavily. I understand now. I will not hesitate again." She smiled faintly. "Good. But we cannot stay. The Shadow Legion will regroup, and that stranger may return. We must continue moving to the sanctuary." He looked at the glowing city below, feeling a mix of awe and fear. The journey was far from over. Danger awaited at every turn. But he had learned something crucial. Together, they could survive. Together, they could fight back. The alien woman extended her hand. "Come," she said. "The path ahead is dangerous, but we will face it. And we will survive." He took her hand, gripping the glowing device tightly in the other. The city stretched before them, full of light, shadows, and hidden threats. They stepped forward together, ready to face whatever came next. And deep in the shadows below, the Shadow Legion stirred, their glowing red eyes scanning the night. They had lost their prey once, but they would not fail again. The chase was far from over. For the man and the alien woman, the escape was only the beginning. Ahead lay unknown dangers, challenges, and revelations that would test them like never before. But for now, they had survived. And in this world of light and shadow, survival was everything. The glowing city stretched beneath them like a sea of stars. Towers of light reached high into the alien sky, and the streets shimmered with energy streams that flowed like rivers of liquid crystal. The man and the alien woman crouched on a high platform, hidden in shadows, catching their breath. They had survived the chase, the betrayals, and the relentless threat of the Shadow Legion. But this moment of calm felt fragile, almost deceptive. "We can't stay here," the alien woman said, her glowing eyes scanning the streets below. "The Shadow Legion will regroup. That stranger may return stronger than before. We must reach the sanctuary before they find us." The man nodded. He had learned more about her, about the device, and about survival in the past days than he ever thought possible. Every moment had been a test of courage, trust, and instinct. But now, looking at the glowing city, he felt something new. Hope. "Where is this sanctuary?" he asked. Her gaze softened. "It is hidden within the city beneath the tallest tower. It was built by my people, a place of knowledge, of power and safety. But reaching it won't be easy. The path is guarded, and the Shadow Legion may be watching every move." The man swallowed hard. "Then we move together." She nodded. Together. They leapt from the platform, landing silently on a narrow ledge that led to a maintenance shaft. The glowing device pulsed in the man's hand, guiding them as they descended. Every step required focus. Every shadow could hide danger. The air smelled faintly of energy and ozone, making the man's skin tingle. As they moved, the alien woman explained the sanctuary. "It holds archives of my people's knowledge, technology, and secrets. And most importantly, it holds the ability to protect those who seek refuge. If we can reach it, the Shadow Legion cannot touch us, at least not easily." The man nodded, gripping the device tightly. "Then we reach it, no matter what." The corridor led them to a massive door etched with glowing symbols. The alien woman placed her hand on the markings, and the door pulsed. A soft hum filled the air, then slowly slid open, revealing a spiral staircase descending into the depths of the city. "This is it," she whispered. "The sanctuary lies below. But beware, it is not completely safe. The Shadow Legion may have anticipated this path." They began their descent. The staircase twisted and spiraled downward, the walls glowing faintly with alien energy. The man felt a strange hum from the device, almost like it was alive, guiding him, warning him, pushing him forward. Halfway down, a shadow moved. The man froze. The alien woman tensed beside him. "It's them," she whispered. "The Shadow Legion, and they are not alone." A group of soldiers emerged from the shadows, their red eyes glowing in the dim light. The man's pulse quickened. They had faced them before, but never like this. Never in a confined space where escape was limited. The alien woman acted instantly. Blue energy shot from her hands, striking the first row of soldiers and sending them staggering backward. The man raised the device, releasing waves of protective energy. Sparks flew, the air hummed, and the narrow staircase trembled under the force of the attack. One soldier lunged at the man with a weapon of dark energy. Instinctively, he struck with the device, sending a pulse that knocked the soldier back. He felt a surge of confidence. He could fight, he could survive. But more soldiers were coming. The alien woman grabbed his arm. "We cannot fight them all. We must move." They sprinted down the staircase, dodging energy blasts and falling debris. The device pulsed stronger with every step, guiding them toward a side door leading to a narrow maintenance tunnel. The soldiers followed, relentless and precise. The tunnel opened into a massive chamber filled with strange machinery and glowing archives. Holographic projections of alien cities, star systems, and histories floated in the air. The man gasped in awe. "This is the sanctuary," he whispered. She nodded. "Yes. And here we can protect ourselves. But first, we must seal the entrance." She moved to a control panel, her glowing hands tracing symbols on the interface. The man watched the device pulse violently in his hand, sensing energy waves flowing from the sanctuary, reinforcing the room's protective barriers. The Shadow Legion was not far behind. He could hear the echo of their footsteps in the tunnels. One soldier reached for the door, but before it could open, the alien woman activated the barrier. A field of shimmering energy shot up, sealing the chamber completely. The man exhaled, relief washing over him. For the first time, they were safe for now. She turned to him. The sanctuary is protected, but it will not hold forever. We must prepare and decide our next move. The Shadow Legion will return. He nodded, still gripping the device. Then we prepare. We fight if we must. The alien woman's eyes softened. You have come far. You have survived what no human should face. But there is more to learn and more to fight. This sanctuary holds knowledge and power, and you may hold the key to its use. The man frowned. Me? I'm just human. What can I do? Her gaze was intense. The device responds to you. You are unpredictable, adaptable, alive. That is why you survived this far. And that is why the Shadow Legion fears you. You can learn to control the device and with it, protect not just yourself, but others. He looked at the glowing device in his hand, feeling its energy flow through him. He had used it to survive, to fight, and to escape. But now, he understood its true purpose. It was a bridge between humans and the alien woman, between survival and power, between fear and courage. A low rumble echoed from the tunnels. The Shadow Legion was returning. He felt the surge of adrenaline, the pull of the device, and the steady presence of the alien woman beside him. Are you ready? She asked. He nodded firmly.
Yes.
Whatever comes, we face it together. The alien woman smiled faintly. Good. Then we begin. They moved deeper into the sanctuary. The walls shimmered with alien symbols, and the air hummed with energy. The man could feel the device responding more strongly than ever, guiding him through corridors, unlocking hidden paths, and revealing secrets of the sanctuary. In the center of the chamber, a massive crystal pulsed with energy. The alien woman approached it, placing her hands on the surface. Light flowed from the crystal into the device, filling the room with a radiant glow. The man felt a rush of power and clarity, understanding the depth of the device's connection. This crystal, it amplifies the device, she explained. Together, we can create a protective shield, a force that the Shadow Legion cannot penetrate, at least for a time. But it will require focus, courage, and trust. He nodded. I'm ready. They worked together, channeling energy from the crystal into the device. The room glowed brighter, the air thick with power. Outside, the Shadow Legion gathered, sensing the surge of energy. Their red eyes burned with rage, but the sanctuary's walls held strong. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time seemed to blur as they focused, the device and crystals syncing with their minds. Finally, the glow stabilized, forming a protective dome around the sanctuary. The Shadow Legion's attacks were absorbed, deflected, or shattered by the energy barrier. The alien woman turned to him, her glowing eyes full of pride. You did it. Together, we're safe. For now. He smiled, exhausted but triumphant. We survived and we fought back. Yes, she said softly. But this is only the beginning. There are others out there, and the universe is full of threats. But now we have hope. We have knowledge and we have each other. For the first time, the man felt a sense of belonging, of purpose. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a fighter, a partner, and a bridge between two worlds. The alien woman reached out, her hand glowing softly.
Come.
Rest for now. Tomorrow we plan our next move. Together. He took her hand, feeling the warmth and energy, and nodded. The sanctuary hummed with life, the device pulsing steadily in his hand. Outside, the Shadow Legion seethed, but they could not enter. Inside, hope and determination thrived. And in that glowing chamber, beneath the towers of the alien city, the man realized something he had never known before. Survival was not the end. It was the beginning. A new beginning. They had faced death, betrayal, and impossible odds. They had trusted each other when trust seemed impossible. And now, they were ready to face whatever came next together. The glowing device pulsed once more, as if acknowledging its new bond, its new purpose. And somewhere deep in the universe, a faint whisper echoed, carrying a promise of adventure, danger, and destiny. The journey has just begun.